Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Happy kids back in school day, if that's what your vibe is today. Plush Garden coming back to say hello. Good morning. Good morning. Brian, what's up, buddy? How are you doing? Dan, good morning. MP in the house. Thank you very much. And Dylan on his drive to work. Happy Monday, Dylan. Drive safe. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you as always. Thank you, everybody. It's good to be back. I took some more time off. It felt good. I missed the first show of the year. Jason snuck one in on me. I did not wake up. So this is my first show of the year on day 5 of the year. But we're here. Thank you all for being patient. I know every morning you just wake up and you're like, is Dom gonna hit the button? But yeah, I needed to sleep in a little bit. I needed to sleep in. It felt good. Felt good. Felt good to relax. Not sure it feels good now, having to like switch over to it. I'm kind of getting a little sense of what my kids go through when they take 2 weeks off or they take a summer off and then all of a sudden they have to go back to their schedule. Um, the last 2 days were definitely me and my wife both reminding them that you need to get back in your sleep routine because school is coming on Monday, and you're gonna need to be woken up. It'll change this year. Ooh, interesting. You got, something different going on with work or commute? That'd be cool. Um, well, if it changes, we'd love to have you up here. Uh, but yeah, that I don't know how it's gonna go. My kids are relatively good. So I think I think I think they'll be fine today, but I won't know until I talk to my wife later, how she fared. So hopefully everyone else is having a good morning, waking their kids up after the winter break and getting them fed and changed and off to school. Those of you,
Stop.
what's up, buddy?
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Speaking of those of us who have to completely alter their life and schedule today and wake up early and get their hair done and go to work. How you feeling
Thanks.
today?
Thanks for summarizing that perfectly.
Well, I was saying before you jumped on is like I've never had to deal with that. Like in my, last 17, 18 years of working, this has been like the first time I've ever taken like my own version of a winter break. I took, I was off, I've been off for 5 days, like if you count the weekend as well, this week and last week. And so last Monday and this Monday, today, it's definitely been an adjustment, like to, get back to it. Um, so it's
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, I would say it's like 90% blessing, 10% curse because it's going to end. I've done this 13 times and uh I will I'm forever thankful for the ability to be able to shut down and turn off and unplug. But the more that I do this, the better I get at unplugging,
Mm.
which just means that it's like a bigger snapback when you come back to school.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yep.
Luckily, we have like a work day today where like content areas get like the first 3 hours of the day. We kind of all meet in content areas around the district, not just our school, so we can kind of get back into it. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussions of, man, I haven't touched anything since the last day of school because that's where I'm at. But yeah, like we get students tomorrow, and it's like and every year it's like there's like the stress, but also it's like you did this for the first half of the year. You just got to do it again. As far
Yeah.
as like the less, because it's like I have like the same class as just new students. So it's like, why am I stressing? Why do I feel like I have to do everything over again? I think it's just like really, it's like finally, it's like being at home in the morning where it's like snowy, or in your case, probably rainy. And like, I don't have to do anything today. So you just kind of chill out for a second, and then the sun comes out and you're like, I guess I got to do something now. That's kind of what the feeling is. But despite the way that I feel now, in about an hour and a half, I'm probably going to feel pretty good and ready to go tomorrow.
Okay, so that's right. You don't have kids in school today, right? So
No, which
you're
Kristen
going in, but
absolutely hates.
you're going in, but not your daughters.
My daughters aren't going in. So Kristen was like,
Wives.
girls, I got to work. You can have the iPads all day. I don't care. Have as many Takis as you want. Good morning, Bukes. Good morning, Dylan.
That's great. That's interesting. So my kids go back today. So I was saying before you jumped on too, is they're gearing up. I pulled a page out of Ryan Turner's book, and I dropped in each one of their rooms right before I went to bed and talked to them and just said, "Are you excited for tomorrow?" That kind of stuff. Brooklyn is the first room on my, the first in order of down the hallway, and
Yeah.
she was basically like, "No, I want to be homeschooled." And I'm like, "Honey, I hope you understand that, like, we can't homeschool you. Like, me and your mom just don't have that, like, whatever it is, that knowledge, that to do that. Plus, you and your mom kind of, get a little fighty with each other. So I couldn't ever imagine a scenario where that would work. And you wouldn't be able to just be in your room on your device all day. Like, that's not what homeschooling is. So it's not going to happen. Please stop saying that. Let's figure out a different way to approach school and friends and all the kids that you don't like and stuff like that. And then Bailey was like an excited nervous. She's keeping the same classes and the same schedule because she doesn't want to alter, like, who the kids that she's in class with, is basically the way she put it. But what's funny is, like, so she's going into cheerleading for basketball games now, and the first game is on Tuesday, and their new coaches are like, doubling down, like, what they're doing and stuff like that. So all winter break, she did absolutely nothing. And then last night, she invited a friend over to, like, practice cheerleading. And it's like, way to, like, try to cram before, like, the exam the next day. Like, first game's on Tuesday, and you're like, okay, Sunday, we're going to, like, do some. We're gonna, like, do some practicing. It was kind of funny. And then Bentley was, in my opinion, maybe not true because he's only 6, but trying to manipulate, uh, "I'm feeling a little sick." Like, tried to lay the groundwork for not going to school today.
It's like, I have a little itch in my throat.
He's like, "My head is warm."
Check out MP with the flex here. Man, I
Sent a
wish I thought
bottle
of
of
that.
champagne to be delivered today since the kids go back. That's
Well done.
well done, sir. Yeah.
MP, you win for sure. I guess.
Dude, he said he messed with his wife.
Today, since okay, all right. So a celebration. So it's more of a celebration. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe I'll send it to her tomorrow.
Dan's already in there. No flex.
There is one margarita left in a shaker in the fridge from Friday, Saturday. So I guess kind of.
So you make such a mean margarita that, like, you wouldn't even throw away the little bit that's left.
No, that stuff's
You're
like gold.
You cannot toss this.
Flex points, MP. Good, good forethought, I would say. Full day of meetings. Well, I mean, there's nothing stopping her from shutting her camera off or putting it in a Celsius can.
She forgets to turn the mic off as the champagne bottle pops. What was that? Nothing.
What was that? Was that a gunshot? So how did you spend how did you spend the last day of break? We were gifted like a day of 65 degrees. Like I
Oh,
woke up, I
nice.
was on I was on dom time yesterday, so it felt awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for if it always feels great on a Sunday, and I took the dogs out like earlier and it was warm. Like I was in a coat and a beanie, and I got to the field where I take my dogs out. I ended up like taking off the jacket, the shoes came off, and I stayed for like 90 minutes doing like stretches in the field for my back.
Nice.
It was lovely. It was great. And then that energy just, it's one of those days where that energy just kind of flowed through the rest of the day. So it's my gratitude today
Yeah,
for
I tried.
yesterday.
I tried a little bit of that yesterday because so for like the 4 days prior, like the New Year's holiday and stuff, I was definitely taking advantage of the sleeping in, um, and not having anything to do the next day. And it kind of I kind of felt myself like in like a weird like zombie state in the morning. Like some of the mornings we would literally it would be like 10, 11 o'clock morning carp fishing.
Morning
And I'd be
cards.
like, "Has anyone had breakfast?" Like, including myself, and I'm like a big breakfast person.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Roblox played over the last 5 days, and so Sunday I woke up, I'm like, "Look, you gotta get back into your routine, dude." And we told that to all the kids on Saturday, and I even told myself. So, Sunday morning, I woke up early, got right into the gym, um, and got right into, like my checklist of everything that I needed to do on Sunday, which is like I'd already cooked the food that we had on Saturday, so that I didn't need to do that at least. But basically, laundry, packing my stuff for work, like preparing like what I needed to do. We gave the dog a bath. The dog's been needing a bath for a while, so I tossed him in the tub and scrubbed him down, and just like general, just kind of like cleaning up and organizing everything in the house after the chaos of the holiday. House looks pretty good.
Also did the clean out, kind of like getting ready again. It almost kind of felt like summer break. Like
Yeah, mini
Kristen went
version of it.
on like a closet renovation
Mm,
firestorm. Which is, I mean, she it was. I asked her, I think it was Saturday or Friday, where I was like, "Are you okay? Or are you stressed about something?" Because usually when she's stressed, she'll start like cleaning something. She was like, "No, I just want to do these closets." I'm like, "Okay."
yeah,
And then that kind of bled onto me, where I was made myself some lunches, so it's something I didn't have to worry about. And then I was in our little Tupperware cabinet, which usually is just kind of like a spider web of lids and containers that
mismatched
are not
stuff.
stacked. And as my meat was cooking, I just swept everything out of the cabinet and then did that.
Yeah,
That was probably an anxiety clean for me because I was thinking about today. Um, and the night before, usually I'm like there's things that I should do just to make like this morning easier, but like my procrastination forward brain will choose
hmm
tasks that feel like they're an accomplishment but have nothing to do with the thing that's actually stressing me out.
yeah. But
So
it's more of like a small win, or like a small like it's not even small. I mean, some of those cabinets, like you saw the picture, right? I did the our game closet, a little cabinet that we have in our living room with just board games and puzzles, and I swept that whole thing out. Um, and then I basically oh, Amy was chilling. She was in the guest bedroom, just like laying down. And I just took all that out, and then she comes out and she's like, "Whoa," and I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "What are you gonna do with that?" I'm like, "No, it's yours now." I'm like, I want you and the kids to go through this and figure out what you guys want to keep and don't keep, and I'll throw all of it away or donate it. Give me a donation pile, give me a trash pile, like that kind of thing. But yeah,
did
it
you end
feels
up
good. It feels good to just clean it.
yeah, did you end up keeping most things? You end up getting rid of some of those games? because that was
Yeah,
one of the causes of
I
Christmas.
think it was more of just like an organization thing. Like it's like, the problem, like how I explained my problem with the Daily Dad book and the Daily Dad journal, but like the problem with board games and puzzles is they're never the same size. So when you first stack them, you put the biggest on the bottom and you stack them to the smallest. But then you arguably always want to play the big game, so you take that one out and then it goes on top and then it teeters and then it falls and then it's just like a nightmare. Like, why can't they just all be the same box?
You don't
Good
have a
morning, Ann.
Tupperware bin of all the
Ann,
puzzles together,
Ann, it's
so you just
5
have like
a.m.
you just don't have like a gigantic puzzle where it's just like a really hard one.
I don't, we just have shenanigans, is what it is.
Clothes worn, yeah, the clothes clean out. That happens
Yep.
twice a year usually.
Yeah, earlier last week, Amy did both girls' rooms because Bailey's room was just a disaster zone. And she's gotten some shelves for her birthday in July, and then a jewelry holder for herself for Christmas. And neither of those, I, as the worker to hang them, I've been asked multiple times to hang them. I keep telling them that the job site conditions are unsafe for me to do any work and they have to clean the room before I do it. So they clean the room a little bit. I still don't think it's safe, so I'm still protesting.
Our bedroom closet. Good
Ooh,
morning, Anne.
ouch.
Welcome. Um,
Yep. Good point,
we'll
Dylan.
do like our closet, like me and Kristen's closet, and we have like the bars. She's a little more fashion forward than I am. I'm a little bit more Spartan in my clothing collection, but we'll do that, and I'll get into this mindset. It was like, how small can I make my clothes collection
Mm,
to the
yep.
point where Kristen will walk and is like, boy, I have a lot of clothes. He's done
Ugh,
3 shirts. I
that's
have
pretty
too many
funny.
pants. That's what I have.
Gotcha.
Too many pants that I don't wear.
All right. Let's talk about the reading. What'd you think?
I had to go find my book. That's why I was late today.
Oh, gotcha.
And I remember this page from last year because I think this was one of those pages where I remember Ryan kind of being a little fired up about
Mm,
ghosts versus spirits,
Ancestor.
ancestors.
Hmm.
And I remember I haven't really thought about this page in a while, but I thought it was a good thing, like the memories that the kids will have of you on the day, if we're referencing December, which won't happen for another 11 months again,
Hmm.
referencing December with our timely or untimely passing. What are they going to remember? Will they remember the good stuff mostly? Will they remember the bad stuff mostly? And as you were talking about the Roblox stuff that your kids were on today, also the same problem. I had 2 really good like dad talks with some dad friends, just like a one-on-one, just meeting up. And it just kind of seems like this isn't a long point, just really short. But like the whole technology thing, it just kind of seems like a struggle throughout. Like I don't know anybody that's
Yeah.
nailing it. Everybody's like, God dang, these kids in there are iPads or whatever. Same way that like our parents were with us with like our consoles, and then me and Junie, we sat down and we watched Ford versus Ferrari, which if you have not seen is a great movie, even if you're not into racing. But there was a point where there was a kid listening to his dad racing, and the mom said something like, "Oh, he sneaked a radio into his room." And I was sitting there with Junie, and I was like, "Junie, back in the day, your parents yelled at their kids for sneaking a radio into their room."
She's like, what's the point of that?
Yeah. Um,
How
so
boring.
say it again.
How boring.
Yeah. So like yeah, I don't think this is a big point, but it's like when the kids look back on their childhood, I'm assuming one of the things that they're going to remember is like our parents were always like yelling at us about screens.
Yeah.
And that didn't stop us because I have a digital profile online now or something. I don't know. But that little point you brought up was like, what are they going to remember most? And is that will that be a good memory?
Hmm.
Or what are they going to think about it? I have no idea.
Yeah, I think your the first point you made of like one of the let's say it's an issue. Like I have a little issue with this book and the other book that I read that's like a daily. So it's like a page a day. So it's 365 or 366 days of a good point, good advice. Oh, I should remember that. And then like you get the full loop and you're like, oh yeah, I remember when I read that. I forgot about that all year long. I really should have paid more attention to that. Like I have a lot of those moments. Um, thankfully, like, like we've talked about before, there's a lot of repeats in a month. So it's not exactly like 365, pieces of advice that I get to forget all year long, except for the day that I read it. I mean, sometimes I forget it. Like I'll forget this page in the next hour. My brain's so amazing like that. But yeah, it's a really good point. I mean, I like to think of like my parents right now, like I'm thinking of them a little bit more in terms of ghosts right now, like my relationship with my parents and the way that they raised me and the way that they treat me right now. I feel like I'm haunted by them at this moment. Um, and so obviously with all the work that I'm doing in this book and with you and with all our friends here, it's my goal to be more of an ancestor and a guiding light and like a supporting figure to my kids. And I didn't take this like that's how I'm taking it. I'm not taking it as like if I were to die tomorrow, what would I be? I think it's more along like as you live beside them as they go off and do their thing. I definitely want my kids not to say that I'm haunting them, like how I just said about my parents. So just about maintaining the relationship in good terms and all the things that we talk about, you know.
Yeah, like I feel pretty confident in the way that that we're going about these young years with our kids.
Mhm.
I think we have the same mindset. I think everybody here has the same mindset. Uh, and then like, I was really trying to think of like what are going to be the ghosts of like what our kids think, because I think for the most part we're
Yep.
pretty positive here. And I don't think it's going to be anything that we explicitly do. I think it's going to be more along the lines of what, like on Friday or Saturday when I was on and you were gone, briefly talked about like what's the general vibe in your house,
Mm,
like when 20 years from now when the kids just kind of think about the house, like what are they going to think about, like what are they going to what feeling are they going to remember? And I think for the most part, like, it's 90% positive around here. And then there's times where it's like they hear mom and dad. It's like me and Kristen got in the fight like the first Saturday of the break. Um, and I'm like, how much legs does that one negative experience have versus like the 90% of
mhm.
what I think is what I think is 90% positive. Is that going to stick in their head, or is that going to play into more of like it's like, oh, mom and dad are really good because it's like they fought, but then they also came back together. You know, those are the
Yeah.
things I think about, is like those implicit feelings and vibes, I guess.
Mhm.
That's what the kids say these days.
100%. Ooh, yeah, that's I
Yeah,
agree.
Moana versus Scrooge, that kind of thing. Like what kind of music was always playing, that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Fun versus fun versus yelling at or nagging or whatever, whatever, to trying to keep that balance. I mean, that's kind of, I wrote that in my stoic journal this morning because it was very much like along the theme of that month is shoot, I already forgot it. But it was mostly about shifting your perception on how things are going. Like when the kids, leave a mess or whatever, it's like you have the choice to, take that as them purposely making a mess in the house, even though you've reminded them a million times not to leave their dishes somewhere. Or you can just say they're, forgetful little human beings and they just don't quite understand this yet because they haven't lived on their own and had to be the person responsible for cleaning up. Like there's always, basically in their entire life, they've always had this person above them, like cleaning or reminding them to clean. And so they've known no different. So their brain just hasn't made that connection that, like, when they're done, the mess needs to be clean. Especially, like in our household, we're not very strict parents. Like we were just talking about, the vibes in our household are not that. Um, we're not a everyone eats at the same time and everyone cleans up their plate at the same time. It's very mixed around here. It's very go with the flow
Mhm.
around here. I'm not there right now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, do you imagine you're saying that that's kind of what you is that something that you kind of ruminate on what the kids are going to take away from that when they're older? Is that kind of what you're saying?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, like that there can be a balance, that there can be like like you can be strict but not. You can have, like, I don't know, the house, we always wanted our house to be very lighthearted and fun. And we ran into, I think I've said a lot, this friend of Bailey's, and it actually, something I haven't had a chance to talk about, but it kind of hit like New Year's, and I was hoping to come on and talk about it with you, but like we ran into a problem with where Bailey is starting to get annoyed that her friend is over at our house all the time.
Hmm.
And we kind of just told her, like, you know, we've always maintained that, we want our house to be a house that your friends can come over at, you know, especially if they don't have that kind of house. Like one of her friends was saying that he wanted to come over to our house because his parents had friends over and they always pick on him. And so, like, he just didn't want to be there. And it's like, okay, well, come on over. Like, and then, her Bailey's friend Sam was the same thing. She just doesn't like being home because I think she's 18 now and her parents are very much in the mindset of like, when are you going to move out, or what are you going to do with your life, or all the, those kind of like hard hitting questions. Whereas, we were just like, hey, come on over and hang out.
Hmm.
And then so it's just trying to balance that, like being not, being like too laissez-faire of parenting, and then, kind of still asking those same questions of our kids, but in like I don't know, it's hard. It's definitely hard. Parenting is hard. I
Yeah.
read that this morning
I'm
too.
that thing you brought up about the kid coming over because his parents' friends always picked on him. That's going to be a ghost for sure.
Yeah.
Is like that. I mean, I could only imagine that coming across as like my parents didn't stick up for me with their friends.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I feel like that's going to be a tough one.
Yep.
See, NP, enjoy the champagne.
100%. And that's kind of how I felt in a way. Like I never felt that so much as a kid. Oh no, I did. Um, I didn't feel it as much as a kid as when I met my wife and her family, and noticed a difference in like the way that their family was versus my family. I think that was like the biggest comparative moment because I didn't spend a lot of time hanging out with my friends' parents. Like I'm basically explaining Bailey's friends do. Um, And so I didn't know any different until I met my wife and, like, started hanging out more with her family, and I was like, "Oh, you really were raised, like, a lot differently than I was. And it feels warmer. It feels nicer. Um, and that's when I think that was when the biggest shift happened for me. I'm like, what a difference a set of parents, grandparents, and like a household could make in like the raising of a child in,
That was young for you too, because you guys got together, what, 18, 20, you said?
18 years ago.
Yeah, that's like
That's
that's
when it started. Like I don't think I put the pieces together like really early, like it didn't really convert. And then I started to like notice it. What it was my Amy started saying like, I'm uncomfortable with your family. And I'm like, what? Really? It's so weird.
Mhm.
And she's like, yeah, you guys are mean to each other. And I'm like, oh,
Was she the first person to say that to you, like to vocalize that?
yeah, uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really it was really strange. I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, and it wasn't too early on, but it definitely wasn't, like it was within the first 5 years, I think.
Mhm.
Like we already had a
I
kid,
mean, that's
we
still
were already
young.
married.
I think that's still young because, well, I think Ryan's talked a little bit about, yeah, he was, there was a family that I think he latched on to, like one of his good friends. I think he spent a lot of time at their house,
Hmm.
for his reasons. Um, but I'm just trying to think back at the age that you were at when you first heard that.
It would have
What,
been like 27 to 30.
yeah, that's when I was like, I was yearning to get out. Like, not a negative environment, just like,
Yeah.
okay, my role is done here. It's time, because I was living, me and Kristen, we were living together, but we were still like really close to home.
Mm,
And
okay.
I was very much in the, just, I was like, all we're doing is working and sitting in traffic. And we were actually talking to the girls last night about how like the first 2-3 years of the relationship between me and Kristen, she was a lot more into me than I was, and I think she's right with that, because and that'll come up like every once in a while. I'm like, why was that? And basically it's like, I just wasn't happy with myself. It's like, if I think about myself between the ages of 20 and 30, I don't think I was a very happy person at all. Kristen can probably verify that. Like, I was definitely like, sarcastic. I was, self-centered. I was trying to figure out what the heck I was doing.
Yeah.
So, those ghosts of my past come up once in a
Mm.
while, and
You're
every
your
time they
own
do,
ghost.
they get a little bit more resolved. So
Yeah.
more self-reflection. So I think I
This
have
thing called life.
yeah, got mostly good ancestors with a few ghosts still banging around in there, but overall pretty good. Well, I gotta go. I
Good
gotta get
stuff, man.
dressed. I gotta get back into talking with other adults now.
There you go. Look at that. All right.
Well,
Well, have a good day.
you
Everybody
too.
else have a good day. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys here tomorrow.
See you all. MP, Dan, Dylan, Cards, and
Profit was
the
in here
rest of
earlier. Plush Garden was in here earlier.
Bukes. Thank
Got
you all.
someone lurking in the background. Weston Town 88. I see you. How you doing? We got William Craig over on Facebook. Thank you, sir. See you
And
guys all tomorrow.
the other 24 of you somewhere on the internet.
See you, Dan.
Come and say hi. All right. See you all.
Bye, all.